Well, I'm back today with this live on Constitution Day. Yeah, so I'm back today on Constitution Day. Today's Constitution Day. Today is the day that we celebrate the Constitution Day of the United States of America. And I want to share a quick lesson here, just some few ideas here, just a few ideas about the Constitution of the United States. Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna share a brief history of the United States Constitution, and we're gonna learn the framework that lays out for the government, for the American government. Yeah, let's begin with. Ooh, yeah. Well, let's begin with this discussion of the importance of having an official government or an official document that explains how the government of countries should be run. Yeah. We are going to start with the Constitution, like I said. And here, just a few questions to get us going. Do you guys know what a constitution is? What is a constitution? Yeah. Um, Thank you for the gifts. I love the gifts. Yeah. I'm excited about receiving gifts. Yeah. And constitution here. What is a constitution? And how about your country? Do you know if your country has a constitution? Does your country have a constitution? Yeah. Do most citizens in your country, the people in your country, do they know about the constitution? Yeah. Do they know about their rights, yeah, that they have in the country in case something happens to them? Yeah. Some words that we can use when we are talking about the constitution of whatever country that is. Yeah, we could use words such as ensure. Yeah, because ensuring is making sure or guaranteeing something will happen. We can use consist of. Consisting of is something that is made of. Yeah, so we could say that the constitution consists of this, and that. I'll come back with that. We can use the word ratify. Ratify is a verb meaning to approve something. Yeah, we can ratify a law. We can approve a law, for example. Yeah. We can have the word framework, as it is the topic of my live here. Yeah, the word framework is the basic structure of something. That's why I said framework of the Constitution, the basic structure of the Constitution. And another word that we can use, another verb that we can use to talk about constitution is craft. Yeah, to craft something is to create something, to produce something, to have something work. And just a few more words here. We can use the verb inspire. Yeah, inspire is motivating, making someone wanting to do something. We can use the verb evolve. Yeah, evolving is to change or develop something over time, yeah, to make something progress, make something better. We can use levy. Yeah, the word levy, the verb levy, is to impose a tax, impose a fee or a restriction in the population or in some services. We can also use conduct, yeah, conduct as a verb, yeah, to perform something, to direct or to lead something or someone to a specific route, a specific way, yeah, or a specific attitude, a specific certain behavior. So we conduct, yeah, someone to do something. And we can also use the verb declare to talk about the Constitution, which means like to say something, to announce something formally. Yeah. Now, here, what is the Constitution of the United States? Just so you know a little bit about that, yeah, more or less the end of the 18th century. Yeah, the United States of America was a new country because they had they had recently gained independence from England. Yeah. And as a newly founded country, as they were independent from um, England, yeah, they needed a framework for the government. So the United States needed to have a basic structure that would give people something to follow. Yeah. So a group of men, yeah, the name of the group of these men, this group of men was called framers. They got together to craft, yeah, to create a document, yeah, to craft a document that will become the basis of the document of the United States. Yeah. And it was a long debate. It was a few months of debate, yeah, after the U.S. Constitution, the American Constitution, was approved. Yeah. And then, yes, finally, the United States Constitution was approved, was ratified, yeah, and that was on September 17th. That's why I said today is September 17th. It is the day of the American Constitution, and I'm doing this lesson because today is the day that we celebrate the Constitution of the United States. And of course, it became the supreme law of the land, where people would, with the Constitution ratified, accepted, yeah, people would have that. Now, of course, before the Constitution was created, yeah, the country didn't have a president, yeah, and the central government was very weak. Yeah. So, yeah, having a constitution definitely establishes a strong federal government that even nowadays, yeah, it consists of three branches. What are the branches of the United States? If you know, yeah, please feel free to share that. The first, yeah, branch is the legislative branch. Yeah. Another branch is, now, by the way, what's the legislative branch? Legislative branch is the branch in the United States that makes the laws. Yeah, makes the rules that people need to respect, to follow in a country. The executive branch is another one we have in the United States. Is the second branch we have in the United States. And the executive branch enforces the law. And we have the judicial branch. And what is the judicial branch? That's a little bit of common sense. Judicial branch is nice. Judicial branch is the branch that interprets the laws. Yeah. So we have legislative branch that makes the laws, that creates the laws, the executive branch, which enforces the law, make sure that people are following the law and doing what is right, and the judicial branch interpreting the law. Um, and well, that's the structure of the American Constitution. And of course, the Constitution also ensures, yeah, that there is a division of power between the federal government and state governments. So the power is not all in one person's hand, in one government's hand, not just with the federal government, but also the states in a country. They have, yeah, their own power as well. Yeah. Just one example, we have the federal government, yeah, where the president is, yeah, ruling all the country, yeah, and we have like I said, the state governments, yeah, which is, like in the United States, as I'm sharing the American Constitution, we have, oh geez, one sec. Okay, yes. Well, so yeah, we have the federal government in the United States, and we also have, yeah, the state government, yeah, which goes with the states. Yeah, so yeah, we have a lot of states. Yeah, even Alaska is one of them. Yeah, California, Florida, Georgia, yeah, Hawaii, Illinois. Yeah, we have Louisiana. Yeah, we got Michigan. Yeah. Missouri, Nebraska, so Oklahoma, yeah, all these Washington state, yeah. So yeah, we have different governments with different power, yeah, and the job of the Constitution is also to divide this power, so the power is not only with one, yeah, in one person's hand, yeah. Well, Of course, what is the power? Yeah, of the federal government. The power of the federal government is maintain the military, create the postal service, and declare war. Yeah, are some of the powers. Of course, there are more powers. Yeah, with the federal government, but these are some of them. And some of the powers that, on the other hand, yeah, the states have the authority to do is to create schools, to conduct local elections, and to regulate marriages and businesses. I don't know how that is in your country, but you can share. How is it in your country? Do you know how the Constitution works in your country? And of course, the federal government and state governments also share, yeah, they have the same power to a lot of other things, such as, or as an example, yeah, building roads, yeah, the roads, the streets, yeah, the avenues you have, they share this power. Yeah, the federal government and the state government in the United States. I'm not sure about other countries. You have to share that for me. Yeah, and also levying taxes. Levying taxes, I shared this vocabulary before, is to create taxes. Yeah. Now, the framers, remember the framers, that group of guys who discussed for for a few months, yeah, the creation, the crafting of the Constitution. They um, realized, yeah, as the country was growing and developing, yeah, the Constitution needed to evolve. How do we how do we improve the Constitution? How do we change, yeah, the Constitution? What do we have to do? Well, we can add, yeah, we can allow some changes, and to allow some changes, we need to have amendments. Once we have amendments, it's almost like a, in other words, maybe to make it simple, an amendment is a complement of the structure. Yeah, so we are having a complement, yeah, of the laws that are written down. Yeah. And in 1791, the Congress approved 10 amendments. And some of these amendments, yeah, these 10 amendments, they make the very famous so-called Bill of Rights. Maybe with a lot of news law now nowadays about the United States and stuff, you guys have heard of Bill of Rights. Yeah, Bill of Rights are what consist. Yeah, the um, the the 10 amendments, yeah, made to the Constitution, and they guarantee basic individual rights, yeah, liberties. People like in the United States, a lot of people may know freedom of speech, freedom of religion. So, according to the Constitution, yes, people should, in the United States, people should be free to talk, yeah, um, to share their opinion, and should be free to talk about religion, to have their religion. Of course, yeah, these rights, yes, these liberties, they cannot offend, they cannot affect other laws. Yeah. So as long as you are not disrespecting other law, yeah, it's about freedom of exercising there, but of course without violence or without any other thing that would go against other, yeah, orders in the law or the laws. Yeah. In the United States, I guess, is the American Constitution is the oldest constitution used in the world nowadays. Yeah, and nowadays, I think still nowadays, yeah, the United States has about 27 amendments. Yeah, um, yes, today, yeah, yeah. So the United States today, yes, has been amended 27 times. Yeah. And of course, it remains relevant for the people, yeah, or for the governance of the people of the United States. It is really important. And I believe the majority of people, yeah, in the United States, they respect and they use the Constitution as uh, as a guide in order to make the country flow. Yeah. And of course, this document, the Constitution, has inspired the establishment of other nations' institutions throughout the years, and other nations started creating constitutions, yeah, for their countries in order to, from that time, yeah, like 2 centuries, 3 centuries ago, yeah, so they started creating that. Well, um, and if you guys may know, who was the first um, president of the United States? Do you guys know who the first president of the United States was? Well, the first president of the United States was George Washington. Yeah, pretty famous name. If you didn't know, or maybe you knew but forgot by saying this name, George Washington, yeah, for sure you would know that. Yeah. Now, when did the United States Constitution become official? I said that in my story here. If you remember that, well, that was on, of course, today, yeah, September 17th, but of the year of 1787. So, yeah, geez, I'm not that good with math, but more or less like 300 years ago, a little bit over there or something. Yeah. Now, how long did it take for people to write? Yeah, for the framers to write the Constitution? Well, it took them about 4 months. Yeah, I think. Yeah, to write the Constitution. And the three branches of the American government, if you can remember that, we have the legislative branch. Now, what does the legislative branch do? The legislative branch, they make the laws. The executive branch, what do they do? I'll leave that as homework for you. But I have the last one, the judicial branch, and the judicial branch is here for to interpret the laws. Yeah, and um, some of the powers that they states have. What are some of the powers that they states in the United States have? Well, they have power to create schools, to conduct local elections, and even to regulate marriages and businesses. These are some of the powers that the United States has. Yeah, the states of the United States individually have. And what is the Bill of Rights again? If you remember, the Bill of Rights is the first 10 amendments to the Constitution of the United States. Yeah, they basically guarantee what? The 10 amendments, the first 10 amendments of the United States, they guarantee basic individual liberties, such as freedom of speech and freedom of religion. Yeah, these are some of the ideas of how the Constitution of the United States was created. Yeah. And just so we can wrap that up, why would you people say is important to have an official document that explains how the government should be run? Yeah, the government of any country should run. Because, okay, the United States has a constitution, has a document with a lot of laws that people should follow. Mm. Now, why is this important to have this official government in countries? You can share your opinions. Yeah. Do you think that's important? Why would that be? Yeah. And do you think that the constitution system of checks and balances works in today's political climate? Yeah. Why would you say that? Why not? Yeah. And as September 17th being the designated day of the Constitution in the United States, yeah, um, I think I'm pretty sure that all federal funding, that all the schools in the United States that receive federal funding, they must teach about the Constitution. Do you think it's a good idea? Is it important, yeah, that the schools teach about the Constitution on the day of Constitution? Yeah. in the United States or even in other countries, do you believe like children and people who live in countries, they should learn about the constitution of their countries? Do you learn about the constitution of your country? Yeah. In at school, at the university, on the streets, do you talk about the constitution with other people? Do you know your rights? Yeah. This is the idea with the constitution, knowing about your rights and even your duties. Yeah, what you are supposed to do. Yeah. Um, and of course, as Benjamin Franklin would say, do you guys know who Benjamin Franklin was? Who was Benjamin Franklin? Yeah. Well, Benjamin Franklin, yes, was one of the founding fathers, yeah, of the United States. Yeah. He was one of the signers, yeah, of the Declaration of Independence in the United States. Yeah. Now, what is the importance? What did he used to say? Yeah, Benjamin Franklin about the United States Constitution. He used to say that the United States Constitution doesn't guarantee happiness, yeah, but only the pursuit of it. Yeah. And of course, you have to catch up with it yourself. What does he mean with that? And do you agree? Do you disagree? What do you have to share about this? Well, um, I do believe, yeah, and I could say that I couldn't agree more with that because having a constitution, and we can see with a lot of atrocities, yeah, a lot of tragedies happening in the world nowadays, unfortunately, yeah, having a constitution doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to be made happy. Yeah, it doesn't guarantee your happiness. Yeah, because the Constitution of the United States or of any country is just sharing with you the rules to be followed. Yeah, the ideas that you that people have of how to be protected from violence and how to have freedom, but at the same time having a balance with okay, what until where does my freedom go? That I will learn the difference between freedom and respect to other people. Because if I have freedom, but I have no respect for other people because I'm free, and I start discriminating people, and people start um, judging people based on appearance or not helping people when they need help in the right way, of course. Yeah, not that people should be receiving help for everything all the time. Yeah. Well, you got to catch up with it. You got to look for your happiness. Yeah. You got to look for your peace. Yeah. If you don't look for your peace, if you don't look for your happiness, you could have loss. You could have the constitution that is not going to change your life. Yeah. Because some people break the law, and breaking the law is not going to make a lot of people happy. It's going to make a lot of people discontent. Breaking the law makes people unhappy. Yeah. And of course, some people need the approval of and that is unhealthy for sure. Yeah. Just sharing a little bit of opinion, just so we can exercise again the expressions used. Yeah. Um, in this lesson about the Constitution. Now, remember here, um, the Constitution of the United States consists of three branches: executive branch, legislative branch, or in order, legislative branch, the same order that I taught in this class. Legislative branch, the American Constitution consists of legislative branch, executive branch, and judicial branch. Yeah. Um, and the Constitution was ratified on September 17th, yeah, of 1791. Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah. And it was crafted by the framers. Yeah, a little bit of a review with, again, some of the words, some of the vocabulary that I shared with you guys, just so you remember that. Now, again, what's the framework of the Constitution? It's the skeleton of the Constitution. It's the structure of the Constitution. Yeah. And a declaration is the announcement of the independence, the freedom of the United States. Yeah. Well, that is what I have to share with you today. Yeah. I thank you all for your participation. Yeah. If you haven't participated here live, but you are watching this live, and you can comment on this video or perhaps not in this video because you don't have access to a chat or something to be commenting in this video, please feel free to watch my other videos or even share stuff about this class, this live about the Constitution in other videos of mine. Say, hey, I watched your live about the Constitution, and I'd like to share my opinion here about this, that, whatever. I'll get some of the opinions, and I'll be happy to share some ideas with you guys, or even help you with the structure. Like, you can ask me, because of course the idea here is that you study with me, and you learn with me. So you give me like, oh, is this structure correct? Can I say this structure wise? And I can help you grammatically correct something. Yeah. And I can even help you with how you write sentences in English. Yeah. It's all free. Yeah, I'm not charging here in the platforms. Yeah, so please feel free to comment that, and I'll be happy to share some comments here and answer the questions that you have, or even help you with structures of sentences in English. Yeah. Now, again, just to wrap it up, just to conclude this lesson, what is the Constitution? I'm going to ask the questions from the beginning again. Constitution is in simple terms, an official document with rules, laws that people need to follow in order to have an organization and a separation of powers where people have different responsibilities so a government can rule a country. Yeah. And does your country have a constitution? I'm not sure. I don't think. I'm not sure if all countries have a constitution. Yeah, but I believe all countries kind of have some sort of a law. Yeah, the people must follow. Maybe not as an official document, but if it's a country that is super small, with where the whole population knows each other and they discuss with each other, perhaps there is someone who is behind the structure, the power, and knows like, oh, okay, this guy speaks for the country. Yeah, perhaps. Not sure about it, but it could be something like that. Yeah, if it isn't, please share more with me and we can talk more about that. Yeah, and do you guys know if in your country, just concluding here, if most people, if the population, if the citizens of your country know their rights? If they know, well, that's pretty good. Yeah, because when people are informed, people when are informed about the Constitution, about the rights, about the laws, about what the laws can cause in them, or in a country, and what they can, how in ways that they can use the law in order to improve their way of living. This is how populations, the population of countries, citizens of countries, should live. Well, that's it. Again, thank you for your participation. Feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. This is a lesson about the Constitution, as today is Constitution Day. The celebration of Constitution Day in the United States of America, September 17th, 2017. But of course, I know like pretty much this celebration started September 17th, 1787, when the Constitution was ratified was approved. Thanks for watching. Yeah. And I will see you guys in another lesson. Take care. Stay sharp. Cheers.